Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. So, I did a video, I guess, about a week and a half ago, and I discussed how no one gives a shit about Donald Trump, right? He's gone. When you think about it, Donald Trump is actually in hell because the only thing he cares about is publicity, being in the news. He's the neurotic, psychotic, whatever. I mean, it's totally abnormal, his obsession with this. And the bottom line is, nobody gives a shit about you. You're gone. And who knows what will happen with the New York State? Will they indict him and put him away in jail? I mean, who knows? But so I still hear people saying he's going to run in 2024. As a matter of fact, the other day I saw a flag here, Trump 2024, which is really ridiculous. And as I stated in my last video, that I did about a week and a half ago, Donald Trump has never won a general election, right? 2016, he lost to the worst candidate in the history of this country, Hillary Clinton, by 3 million votes. And only by some fluke did he become president because of this electoral college. So, and then obviously, he loses to a guy who's not. He's an old man, Joe Biden. Joe Biden trounced him in this last election in 2020, beat them both in the electoral college and and the popular vote. So it's ridiculous anyway to even think about that. And by the way, who cares? So I'm going to play something here from Kyle Kulinski, a little clip here, and I'll talk in a second. Watch this.
Donald Trump is back in the news. There's a new poll that just came out. I want to share the results with you because this is, at this point, maybe a little bit surprising, but it also might spell a more positive future for everybody. So NBC News says, out of office, off of Twitter, still complaining about the election results. The last 100 days or so haven't been kind to Donald Trump. Our new national NBC News poll finds his ratings among all adults stand at 32% favorable, 55% unfavorable, which is down from his ratings in January.
But let me just pause this for a second. So people, some deplorables that I used to interact with, over the past 4 years, used to say, "Why are you so obsessed with him?" And I go, "It's not him. The guy happened to have the most powerful, most important job in the world, president of the United States. So I never gave a shit about Donald Trump. I first saw him in the 80s, and my father says, "Who's this big shot real estate developer?" And I'm like, "This fucking guy's full of shit. I don't like him." And then all that publicity, tabloid nonsense with his ex-wives, and who knows, right? So, and then I heard, like in the 2000s with the Apprentice thing, I never gave a shit. I didn't watch it. I didn't care. Let me continue on.
After the attempted insurrection, and 53% unfavorable among registered voters, as well as where he was in the poll right before the election, 43% favorable, 52% unfavorable among registered voters. By comparison, President Biden's current favorable-unfavorable stands at 50% positive, 36% negative.
How about that?
Even Trump's poll within his own party appears to have lessened, with 44% of Republicans saying they're more supporters of Trump than the GOP versus 50%
now
who
it's
say
reversed.
they're more supporters of the GOP than the former president. So, talked about this a little bit on Crystal Kyle and Friends the other day, but that's the first time since his election, since I think 2016 when he got elected, that now that number is reversed. It was for a very long time, if you talk to Republican voters and say, who do you trust more, Trump or the Republican Party, they would say Trump. This is the first time it's the opposite. And now Republican voters are saying, I'm more of a Republican than a Trumper. So, the question needs to be asked, because this is the first time we're seeing numbers like this. Has the fever finally broken? Has the fever finally broken? And, his approval rating being all the way down at 32%, that's low, man. That's very, very low. I think that's in the ballpark of his lowest ever. Mm-hmm. I remember George W. Bush's lowest was in the 20s. I think it was 22%. I'm not sure. Maybe Trump dipped barely into the 29%, 28% area once or twice, but this is near his lowest
Donald
ever.
Trump, go
And
away.
here's the
No
problem
one
he's now facing.
cares.
He's a bullshitter. He's a master bullshitter. He's arguably the best bullshitter that ever lived.
Greatest
And,
con. Well, we know all this.
The problem for him is, if you're a bullshitter, you need to always be in front of your audience to keep bullshitting them, to keep weaving your narrative
Exactly.
and your story. And now, he's not in front of people anymore. He's not on Twitter. They deplatformed him effectively.
That must be killing
And
him. You know.
now he's just doing these press releases that almost
dying
nobody reads. I
for
mean, some
attention.
news outlets will cover some of them, but nobody's really paying attention to that nearly as much as they were paying attention to his Twitter feed. And so the bullshitter is being kept away from his audience and his marks. And when that happens over time,
I'm telling you, the Twitter's the biggie, you know. So that without Twitter, you know, these, as Kyle said, these little press things, I mean, are meaningless. You know, no one's paying attention to him. Donald Trump is in hell. Let me continue on.
stranglehold fades. You know, the magic wears off.
Yep,
And
with
that's
everyone
sort of where we
really
are.
too.
So listen, there's a little bit of an uncomfortable conclusion from this, and that is deplatforming effectively works.
Yep.
Now, the reason I do that is because I don't think the real question should be, does it work, does it not work? Because I think people should take a principled stand on the side of free speech as much as possible. But in terms of the effect that it had, if the idea was, hey, this will make him a lot less relevant, mission accomplished. It made him a lot less relevant. And now he's underwater. It's hard for me to imagine how he bounces back from this. How do you bounce back if you're not on social media and constantly in people's faces?
Yep.
And
Really?
you know, able to
For
tell your
anyone,
story
really.
and weave your narrative and leave the impression that you want to leave. I don't know how he bounces back from this. How could he, even in theory, how could he bounce back from this? I don't know. Because he's kind of hidden away off in a corner now and more irrelevant by the day. So it'll be interesting to see if he runs for president again. I really do think that he's the favorite on the Republican side by far, because again, the numbers show that.
Isn't
as
that
well.
pathetic? The GOP,
like,
boy.
Isn't he at a massive disadvantage, and aren't his hands tied behind his back if he's not on social media?
The guy who's
If he runs
never won a
again and he's up
general
against
election is
bunch
the
of people
front runner.
who are on
Yep.
social media?
Not to mention all the other
I don't know.
shit.
Well, it might also be the case that if he jumps back in, then the media will do what the media does, which is kind of relentlessly cover him and hyperventilate nonstop.
Yep.
In which case, that will probably have the backlash effect like it did last time and end up helping him, even though it's trying to hurt
Exactly.
him. That might be the thing that keeps him in the game, but that would be
No,
the supreme irony, wouldn't it? That, like, the media who hate him a lot actually were the ones who inadvertently helped him and made him become president because they gave him so much free advertising, and the attacks that they did against him just weren't good enough to really make people turn on him.
Yep.
So it's funny.
The Barbra
thing that
Streisand effect.
really led more so to people turning on him is his complete absence.
Yep,
Which goes to
100%.
show you the strategy of the media to completely ignore you versus cover you negatively. Usually ignoring you works better than covering you negatively.
Totally good point.
I mean,
Okay.
you can see this actually with
This is about another couple of minutes. I'll embed it in the comments section, the link here. So there you go. Donald Trump is in hell. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. By the way, my new guitar, I got this a couple of weeks ago. It's an Ibanez. And I'm going to change my theme song. I'm working on something called, actually, it's this guy, Rick Emmett from Triumph. Nobody's going to know who he is. Very underrated guitar player. He has a song, an acoustic song called Finger Talking. So I'm working on it. It's very difficult, and I'll put it on my videos. Okay, good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. Peace, love, and understanding here on Tabor Talk.